Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
Good afternoon. Guess what? The Lions did it in overtime fashion. What a statement win. We got a ton of people in the chat. Let me get to it because I actually got to scroll up to talk to everybody. We started off the show with Fred, Brent, Will Vogues, Davey, Dwayne Keene, and all of you doing everything. You could say it was too close, but you know what? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. After J-Mo got that touchdown, we went up by 2 touchdowns. A win is a win. I could care less if it's 1 point or it's 100. We don't have to be like the Miami Dolphins and be a track team and just keep scoring to win. The Rams' defensive game plan was obvious. They blanketed Amon-Ra St. Brown. They blanketed Laporta. They pretty much made them almost non-existent for 2.5 quarters. 3 catches for Amon-Ra. I think there was only 2 or 3 catches for Laporta as well. Sam Laporta had 4. Jahmyr Gibbs had 4 and 34. Amon-Ra had 3 for 13. David Montgomery and Brock Wright rounded out our receptions. But David Montgomery does get one of my players of the game. Let's talk about those hot players. Number 1, Jameson Williams. Over 140 yards total, a touchdown. Vogel, you done being a Panthers fan yet? Second, David Montgomery, 17 carries, 91 yards, over a 5-yard per carry, and a touchdown in the biggest touchdown, the one that won the game in overtime. Jahmyr Gibbs had a touchdown early. I don't think he was hurt. I just think they threw everything but the kitchen sink over the middle of the field. Yep, it was looking like that. It looks like their idea was to blanket the underneath stuff, not let Amon-Ra be the slant god he is, not let Laporta get away with those rub routes. But remember, last week I said Gibbs or Laporta would score the first touchdown. I called a lot of things, and I said that if everything went wrong, it would be a close game, and everything did go wrong. We have to boo Matthew Stafford from now on until he retires because he plays for the Rams. Jared Goff is our QB. Much love and respect for Stafford, though. But J-Mo is a bust. Yeah. My third player of the game, Alex Anzalone. 13 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and only the 8th time since 1994, since they started tracking tackles for loss, that somebody has had 10 plus tackles and 3 tackles for loss in a game. What about Aiden Hutchinson's performance? I'm going to give him an honorable mention. 4 QB hits and a sack. He was in that backfield so much, I think Matt Stafford is going to have PTSD. Levi Onwuzurike and Davenport combined for a sack. Oh, I know. It comes in all the time. Those guys are going to be keeping their mouths shut for a minute because guess what? He touched the ball 6 times and had a touchdown, just like the rest of his career. Yes, they did do a tribute to Stafford before the game. Exactly, Fred. We talked about it. I'm actually looking at the stats right now. Let me see exactly what Aiden Hutchinson did because he didn't have a few sacks. Aiden Hutchinson had 5 tackles, 3 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 4 QB hits. He had QB hits, not sacks. Levi Onwuzurike, 2 tackles, half a sack, 2 QB hits. Marcus Davenport, 1 tackle, half a sack, 4 QB hits. We were hitting the quarterback with our D line, and I projected that would happen, but we really didn't do it enough. And Kyle Pico, 1 tackle, 1 solo, 1 TFL, 1 QB hit. Kirby Joseph gets my 4th player of the game with that pick, which probably saved the game. Oh, I get it. But don't forget, we play other conferences too. We play the NFC West, so we play all 4 teams there, and we play the AFC South. Our biggest test is at Packers because by that time Jordan Love should have returned from his injury. See, and that's the big difference. Once Fuka went off the field, they let Cup eat, and I think it was a mistake. That's what kept them in the game. Oh, look at this. The one, the only Von Doom is here.
Morning.
Hey, that's a nice background. Did you get a new house?
I wish.
But yeah, that's the difference between the wild card game that we played and this game. We did double Cup. It was Vildor and Branch that was all over Cup like a cheap suit in that game. That's why he did nothing and Puka went off because he was covered by the one and only God Cam Sutton in that game, and that's why he went off. Von Doom had his retreat in the Bahamas. Who's the new guy?
Some asshole.
But I just gave my 4 stars of the game for the Lions. It was Jamison Williams, David Montgomery, Alex Anzalone, and Kirby Joseph. Because that interception at halftime saved the game for the Lions, in my
It
opinion.
did.
And once again, where did he get it? In the end zone. That guy feasts on interceptions in the end zones. Do you realize in his last 3 seasons, out of his 9 picks, 6 of them has been in the end zone?
That's because they don't have to worry about him getting past them.
It's true. I will say one thing. In the third, I don't know what happened between the first half and the second half, but our tackling went to shit in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
It looked great, and I think it's because they weren't in game shape yet. Sorry for your loss, Von Doom. It must be disheartening. Hey, he's the one that said he's calling for an 0-17 season. So he
Correct.
got one out of the way. He's 0-1. And
I
this
flat
week,
out said Daniel Jones ain't that man. We need a quarterback.
yeah. Hey, and this week you got the foreskins.
They didn't look good either.
I know. You might win a game.
I hope not.
Their O-line. But when you just showed me those PFF grades, and let me put this into perspective, I didn't see a single one in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s or even the 60s.
Andrew Thomas.
Oh, Andrew Thomas, where was that? Because you sent me that
Go.
photo. I didn't.
I did. Go look. First one. Well, hang on. It's because I freaking cut half of it off. I'm an idiot.
John Runyon, 59 and 57. John Michael Schmitz, 52 and 47. Greg Van Roten, 55 and 44. Ooh, Jermaine almost had an average game at 63 in run blocking and 73 in pass blocking overall, 64.9. He just missed the cutoff. And for you,
There you go.
the other one, Andrew Thomas had a 76.6. Great in pass blocking, but oof in the run blocking.
Also, we didn't really run to that side.
But when you did, it was stopped. That's what that says.
Giants need a quarterback. You could take Suckfeld and shove him right up your. Yeah.
I agree 100%. Daniel Jones is not a starter. And how about Trevor Lawrence choking away a win in Miami?
Yeah.
That second half, he looked more Daniel Jones than Trevor Lawrence, did he not?
They're the same guy. Neither one can read a fucking defense.
All right. When the defense was kind of vanilla and getting their feet underneath them in the first half, Trevor Lawrence looked great. I'm not going to lie. They were trying to figure out how to get the penetration, to get the pressure on him, and they really weren't doing it in the first half. In the second half, when they made their adjustments, Trevor Lawrence fell apart.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to say it right now. Thank God we got that big play to J-Mo when we did, because otherwise this is a different game. We finally scored in the third quarter, though, guys. And more
They're
than
lucky
a
they
field
scored
goal.
in the third quarter.
No, Tre'Davious White was burnt like Eli Apple.
He played a pretty good game, though, for the most part.
Jameson Williams, hell yeah.
No. Tre'Davious White coming back off that Achilles. I think he played a solid game.
He did, but he wasn't great either. He was nowhere near the level he was before the injury.
No. That rookie, though, Kennedy played pretty good.
Kennedy. No, Tom Kennedy that didn't have a catch?
No, the freaking rookie corner for the Rams.
Oh, yeah, the one that was blanketing with the safety on Amon-Ra all game.
Uh-huh.
And their linebackers did a good job keeping Laporta out of the stat column. Yeah, and that's the thing. Second half adjustments with that defense for the Bears. They turned the ball over 3 times in that fourth quarter. 2 of them equaled scores because the defense didn't even give them a chance to get to run an offensive play because Caleb was not the guy. Let's be honest. 14 of 29, 94 yards, 2 sacks to take 29 of them away. That means 65 total of net passing yards.
He had 15 rushing yards, too, though.
I'm talking about passing yards. I can give 2 shits less.
You can't take his passing yards away for a sack.
Yes, you
They take away rushing yards. They take away rushing yards, not passing yards.
I take them away on the passing because it's a passing play.
Yeah, but the pass never got thrown. It's just the same as a sack, so it's negative rushing yards is how it's credited.
It's stupid.
But you know what? Like we said, that offensive line needs some fucking help.
And didn't I say he'd play a lot more like Fields than he would like Caleb Williams? I said that going into the game. Did I lie?
Uh-huh.
Even
No.
Goff had 7 rushing yards. How about that?
He runs so stupid.
Yep, Caleb was 48%. I literally said less than 150 passing yards and less than 50% completion percentage on the Pick'em show. My Nostradamus kicked
Moonscar
in.
Blade. Yes, it did. Moonscar Blade. Deshaun Watson was a choke joke. My God. Man, that team gave up on him. You saw it right after the half. They're just like, nope. You can see it. They stopped blocking for him. They weren't helping him up. It was great. Boston
He
Fields
had
also.
to stop to catch that pass, Fred. I'm going to say that right now. But Bustin Fields had a similar performance in that win you called, JB. Yes, I did say Pittsburgh would win on the back of their defense, and that 100% is what they did. I did say defenses travel. I also said the Packers defense would struggle against that Philly or would struggle with the Philly game, and they did.
Yes and no.
They
let
didn't
up.
struggle with the passing game. They struggled to make Saquon Barkley look human.
Dude, if you look at the stats of that, he had like 11 plays for negative yards. And if it wasn't for those two big runs, he averaged like 3.0 yards a carry.
I know.
That's what he's done his whole career, though. He sucks 95% of the time, and then 5% he's like, God damn, where the hell did this guy come from?
But thank God they got defense and special teams in Chicago. Otherwise, the Titans would have won that game 30-0 by the numbers Caleb put up. That's all I got to say about it. You look at it, there's no way they should have won that game. At least Justin Fields in week 1 had 213 yards passing and over 50% completion percentage.
No, you can't say they had no business winning that game, because how many Super Bowl teams have won and their quarterback had no goddamn business being in the NFL?
Okay, wait. You're talking about Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson in particular.
How did you know?
Because exactly what you said. And also you could even throw in Joe Willie Namath.
Shit, Rex Grossman went to the freaking Super Bowl.
Right. And sat there on the stationary bike. Yeah, put it this way. It was documented by Tom Pellisario and Ian Rappaport on Sunday that the Packers called Brian Tannenbaum. He's not there, so that's a sign that the phone call didn't go that good.
Well, his exact words for what Ryan Tannehill came out and said this weekend is he wants the perfect storm. He wants a playoff team. He wants the big starter money he wants. And he wants good weapons and a good offensive line. Like, he wants everything perfect, or he doesn't want to come back.
And let's face it, there was a lot of pressure on Jordan Love in that game versus Philly. A lot more than anyone expected. Zach Tom did decent. He kept Jordan Davis out of the backfield for the most part. But Jalen Carter and Josh Sweat were living in the backfield. Am I the only one that think the Lions are better having Monty at the primary instead of this 50-50 with Gibbs? I said that they would be better leaving Monty as the main guy. Monty is a guy that breaks tackles with a vicious fever. You're talking about the guy that has the best broken tackle rate over the last 3 seasons when you add it all together and average it out.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, that year it was Josh Jacobs and David Montgomery at the top. They tied in that percentage 3 years ago. And Josh Jacobs really didn't do shit till that defense tired. Saquon would have a couple negative plays, then the next thing you know, boom, he had a positive play. You know what I mean? It wasn't like in the lump sum.
There was no consistency.
Right.
Also, with Monty and Gibbs, no, I don't think you should make him a primary back. I think split carries the first 3 quarters of the game, and then in the fourth quarter is when you fucking pound the shit out of him. When they're tired and he can just run over people easier.
Well, I think that's exactly why that was the game plan in the overtime when we got the ball. It was like, fuck it. We're going to throw two passes, and we're going to run it the rest of the time with Monty and wear them out. Because that way, if we end up like at the 10-yard line and not at the goal line, they can get a quick pass in when they're not expecting it. But then when they ran the ball and the whole pile pushed them another 4 yards before they blew the whistle, that was amazing to put them on the one. I was like, yep, this game's over. As soon as they got on the one, did you not feel the same way there, Leonard?
I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of wanted the Lions to lose in overtime, so I didn't have to hear that fucking chat going crazy like it was. I was getting really tired of it after the shit with the Giants. I was already fed up, and I was like, "Yeah." I got to toss my phone across the room. I was like, "Get this shit away from me."
Monty is a beast. He has strong wiggles. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Why are you looking at his waist, though, to see what's wiggling? Just kidding. Smoking Dad in the building. Did I not say if everything went right, the Lions could win by like 2 touchdowns? And if it went wrong, it would be less than a touchdown win. Is that not what I said? I said either way, I did not see the Rams winning this game.
They almost did, though. They were punching outside of their weight class.
Almost only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and shit fights, sir.
I don't want to hear that because I keep hearing Lions fans all summer saying, "We almost made the Super Bowl."
Hey, I said we were 30 minutes away. I didn't say we were 1 score away. I said 30 minutes away. There's a big difference. The game is 2 halves. Fuck you, Von Doom, back at you, brother.
What did I do?
What you just said about us talking about almost being in the Super Bowl. You pissed them off.
Well, it's true.
And about the chat wanting it to stop. So we.
Oh, dude, it was terrible.
Record and send the voice message of me singing Forward Down the Field.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would have made a freaking gif of it with your face as somebody else's body.
That's awesome.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Probably Matt Stafford. Just
nope. The other jackass that likes to sing that song all the damn time.
Oh, Russell Wayne?
No, Logie.
Oh, fuck him. I do it for the right reason. I do it because we win. You know you're hearing it at the end of the show, don't you?
I'm cutting out before the end of the show.
Okay. But I did see some sparks of life in the middle of the second quarter with the Giants. It looked like they were starting to put it together, and then that defense just said, fuck you.
4th and 11 on the freaking 4th and goal at the freaking 8-yard line. Throws that freaking interception. Harrison Smith kind of killed us completely.
Yeah. The OG
Daniel
drive,
Jones just ain't the guy.
Best drive I ever seen. Talk about real men football. Even ended with the D line ran over and looking at the roof. 100%. I loved it. I loved everything. I love you, Von Doom. It's just your mouth. Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
No, her ass is dead and turned to ashes and blowing around in the wind somewhere. But I used to while she was alive, you know. But I kissed my wife with it. That counts.
By the way, Von Doom, for the 7 guys that got into the pick'ems, who won it this week?
Some asshole.
What's that asshole's name?
Jeremy T. Cocksucking Ballrich.
11-4, and no one's even close.
No, I think the next one was 8-6 or 8 and whatever.
Biggest disappointing team? Yes. The Bunkers. I called them my lock of the week. Even you agreed it should have been a lock of the week. To let New England, the worst roster in football, ranked by PFF, run all over you roughshot. And I'm sorry, Joe Burrow's wrist looked almost as limp as Caleb's.
That offensive line is pitiful.
Oh. And And then one of their fans tried to sugarcoat it. Well, we always start slow. We'll bounce back. I was like, and not after a loss like this. You can't. That would be the equivalent of if New Orleans lost to the Panthers. Cincinnati cost me my parlays. Friend, I'm sorry, LOL. You have a wife? Yeah, he has a wife and 5 kids.
It's my wife's birthday today, too.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Leonard. Just for her. Oh, come on. That's funny, and you know it.
Hang on.
Yeah, and they didn't look that great. What a win for the Lions last night. It may have been a bit ugly, but I'll take it. 100%. Oh, yeah. Emo Loach, what did I say? I said I wouldn't be surprised if JMO was one of the stars of this game coming into it. And Big Dan Davis says, happy birthday, Mrs. Leonard.
Thank you, Big Dan Davis.
My literal article, I ended it with 2 score predictions. If everything goes right, we'd win 31-17. If it went wrong, we'd win 24-21. I was close. I was very. Cameron Luke, talk about your prediction of that 40-20 score again. Yep, JMO's right on his average throughout every game he's played. 6 touches and a touchdown. Well, yeah, and you know why Amon-Ra had 6? He was covered like a blanket. They bracketed him. They did the same thing to Amon-Ra in this game that we did to Cooper Kupp in the wild card game. And Anzalone is my 3rd player of the game. Only the 8th player since 1994 when they started tracking tackles for loss. They had 10 plus tackles and 3 tackles for loss in the game. Only the 8th player to do it. That's pretty good company to be in, because guess who that is? Von Doom. One of them was a former Giant, a Hall of Famer. Want to name them? Because I know you
Lawrence
should.
Taylor or Carl Banks?
Lawrence Taylor. One of them, he's still playing right now for Pittsburgh.
TJ Watt.
They threw that flag on JMO's touchdown. I'm yelling, who the fuck hell? Not again. And then you've looked back, and it was when he did that double move and burnt Tre'Davious White. He grabbed his jersey. And there was a lot of that going on by both defenses in the secondary, and a lot of them did not get called. So while we were talking about week 1 is kind of like an extension of the preseason, because that's your full game preview you usually got for the 4th preseason game. It showed around the NFL. That's what it was all the way around, because the better teams came out in the second half. Ooh, Derek Brown from the Panthers is out for the year.
He had a meniscus injury.
Yeah, that's not good. Yes, Amon-Ra's reception, that was his biggest catch of the game in the red zone when he threw out the skip mark to get some extra yards. You know, Orlando, I'm going to say it again. The Cleveland O-line looked like they gave up, because last year they were one of the better pass blockers with all those backups playing. And this year, they look like they told the Dallas Cowboys defense, hit them. Yep, Hutch was being call it. You know what? We still won the game. I'm not going to cry over non-calls. Let's not cry over non-calls. I mean,
And that trip, he did get tripped, but you look at it, I don't think he even intended to trip. I think guy's face just smacked the ground when he fell on it.
let's say, hey, one of the unsung heroes for the Lions was the left tackle of the Rams O-line.
Yeah, all 5 of them that were injured.
Did you hear me? That guy got turned around more than a screen door doorknob.
Yep. All 5 of them that were injured at left tackle. They got right off the stands about 20 minutes before the game started. They looked for the first fat guy wearing a jersey.
Hey, and let's talk about that. Josh Allen literally had to do it all to win that game for Buffalo.
Josh Allen built different.
I know, but if he didn't do what he didn't. Oh, yeah, that was a good one, too. And let's talk about how bad that pass was. It was 3 yards away from St. Brown, low, like knee length. Yes. Split a sack with Levi. Had 4 QB hits. He only had 1 tackle on the stat sheet. So kudos. Davenport made it through the game, the entire game, not hurt. But
the first time in like 10 years.
There is one guy when he was signed by a team this year, and everybody was touting him as, oh my God, he's going to be the best slot for this team, that did get hurt early in the 4th quarter of that early game. Do you guys know who it is that I called he'd be hurt by the 4th quarter? Who is it, Leonard?
I don't know, man.
Keenan Allen.
Oh, yeah, because he's fucking 80.
I understand it. In football years, he is our age. In work years, right? Is he not? And Davenport, Levi, and Hutch. Buffalo's a real New York team. Yeah, they're in the state of New York, no less. Swift made it through the game unscathed. He actually had a decent game. He was one of the bright spots on their offense, and I was surprised because they used him more than I thought they would. But that means they need to sit him the next game before he's injured. But again, I have said this for the last couple of years. Chicago's O-line is better at run blocking than they are pass blocking. That's why Monty always had what he had. I mean, even though that one year they were god awful in the run game, his last year there, Monty made shit happen. But they got better each year in the run game since then. Carlton Davis did a good job tackling. Terry and Arnold did decent. Branch did decent, but Jesus Christ, can he stop having butter hands? It looked like we had Tracy Walker back there. He had 2 get him right in the hands, and he dropped them. But I called Kirby getting the first interception, and I called Gibbs being the first touchdown guy last week. I got a message about it from our Vikings fan. He goes, Jesus Christ, dude, you know your shit. Oh, I understand, but he looked better than I thought he would behind, is what I was getting at, Fred. He was one of the few bright spots they had on offense. Brent DeWitt, afternoon, Lions faithful. Today is the first Victory Monday with many more coming. Montgomery is our junkyard dog. Love's knee injury puts him out for a minimum of 3 weeks to 6 weeks. And the fact that they called Ryan Tannehill on Sunday, and he said no because he wants starter money and he wants to play the rest of the season when he comes in for a team. It tells me that it might be longer than the 3 to 4 weeks like everybody's thinking it'll be. I actually had some Packer fans, oh, he'll be back in 2 weeks. I said, that would be stupid. Because when you
with the right injection, it'll work.
With an MCL sprain, If it isn't fully healed and you take the field, it can turn into a tear real quick.
Oh, I know.
A sprain is a precursor to the tear.
Yes. But if it was back like the 90s and early 2000s, you would take him to the locker room, dope him up with some Toradol and some Lidocaine and say, get your ass back out there, puss.
But this isn't the 80s. This isn't even the 90s. It's a different game now. Medical staffs are trained differently. They know about this stuff. Yoli Cruz, good morning. Some Lions fans think Malik was so great and Green Bay will be fine. Somebody bumped their damn head. Don't you agree, Von Doom?
Yeah.
Dale comes in and says Bears defense looks pretty stout. Bears offense, not so much. That's true. The right injection let NFL blitz love.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's why you heard, as much as we complain about it, you know what you didn't hear a lot of? When those. Oh, I know, Kurt. I've said that Lorenzo Allen, my brother from another mother. How about that win last night, brother? That's Uncle Rumble for those of you who don't know who Lorenzo is. That is Lions Rumble 81, who's been on this podcast. Also shares the screen with B Strilla the Thriller on Nothing But the Smoke. So you can go
That's where you found that guy. I see.
LOL, Von Doom, Daniel Jacobs. Are Daniel Jones still the guy? No. Tim Levine in the chat. Haven't seen you in forever, brother.
I hope. You suck. Lorenzo, I hope Daniel Jones is the guy all season. I'm going to put it that way.
How about this guy? Anybody else as proud of that guy as I am today? Jameson Williams.
Only took him 3 years to get 100 yards.
In one game.
Just saying. Only took 3 years.
Yep, that overtime drive tells you everything about our boys. But at the same time, I'm going to say this. If the Rams got the ball first, I'd have been nervous.
Yep, that secondary still looks soft.
Yeah, it looked better than last year.
Well, yeah, but then in the second half, Cooper Kupp was like, okay, here we go.
We didn't blanket Kupp. You know who we were blanketing? And what did I also said? If they let Puka Nacua play, he wouldn't finish the game. Did I not say that, Von Doom?
Yeah.
Ewers over Shedeur Sanders, from what I see, as number one. Ewers, Arch Manning, and probably about 6 other QBs look better than Shedeur Sanders right now.
Cam Ward from Miami looks way better than freaking Shedeur.
Yep.
So's Cam Rising. Shit.
Oh. So I got to find a new tight end for our fantasy team because Jake Ferguson went down. Bandit!
Which one? Which league?
Our league.
Huh. I may have an abundance of tight ends.
I know. Yep. That is the main thing. Matt Stafford did what he always does. He got a quick release. He had more touch than he usually had. He had a decent game. Don't get it twisted. He had a good game. It just wasn't good enough. That's where I'm at on it. Oh, yeah. Isaiah Likely looked great.
Yeah. On my goddamn bench, he looked great, bastard.
You're the one that didn't start him. That'd be your fault, right?
Dude, I was so mad about it too because all last week I went on a rant about how Isaiah Likely is going to completely take over from Mark Andrews. He's going to be the target, and I got called an idiot left and right. And then with all that bullshit that was going on, I forgot to put him in the freaking starting lineup.
And I agree, but at the same time, for them to do what they did for Stafford prior to the game, probably motivated him, giving him the tribute. I said I don't like doing it while he's a member of another team coming into play. I think it's a bad look. I think it gives him too much hype. Get actual sacks. That's what I would like us to see versus Tampa Bay because that O-line looked legit last week. Baker Mayfield had the best stats so far of any QB in the league.
No one would ever think you say that.
And you said it wouldn't carry over another season, Von Doom.
What? Baker Mayfield?
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit, man. I've been on the Baker Mayfield fucking hype train since he was still in college. I wanted the Giants to take him too instead of fucking
Daniel Jones?
Saquon Barkley that year. I didn't like Barkley.
What do I think about Vaki getting reps? Those guys got to come off the field sometime. He even took a snap at fullback and looked good doing it. And it seems funny. Somebody mentioned that this offseason that might happen.
Huh. Look at that. One game. Andrews is still him. He had more snaps and was double teamed, but didn't do shit. Mark Andrews isn't Mark Andrews from years past. He has always been double teamed. He slowed down. Plus, he had that freaking car accident. He's got back problems. Isaiah Likely's a faster Mark Andrews in his prime.
Oh, I didn't say get more pressure. I said get sacks. Pressures are great, but sacks stop a QB. Am I wrong, Von Doom?
Nope.
I love pressure.
You did get to see Corum. Kick returning.
Yeah.
He did what we all expected. Nothing.
Yep, he had 2 snaps at fullback. Let me go up here and see what his offensive stats were because I have the box score right here. He didn't take a snap at running back. It was Kyron Williams, Ronnie Rivers, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua. That's it. And them using Puka the way. Yep. Overall, I say it was a great game. Thank you, Yoli. Prayers up. I hope it's of the shorter duration, but the fact that they've already reached out to another starter quality QB in the NFL, I think it's going to be longer than 3 weeks for Jordan Love's injury because otherwise they probably wouldn't be reaching out, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that assessment, Leonard?
Yes and no. Like, I think it's going to probably be closer to 6 weeks, but the Packers expect to compete right now. So you're going to try to get somebody as proven over Malik Willis and Sean Bum-Ass Clifford. Huh. Oh, Leonard, how did Burns play? Burns didn't play bad. He didn't have a sack. He had some pressures and some big hits across the middle on people, though, which kind of shocked the shit out of me because I didn't think he was a hitter like that.
Oh, I saw that too, blue and silver. And it was a great misdirection play with Monty there, Fred. Watching Monty breaking tackle after tackle on the front of jive reminded me of earlier what I saw Swift dive to the ground avoiding contact, laughing my ass off. He's gone because he's got no grit. I'm not going to say the division's already in the bag. It's any given Sunday. And anybody that watched that Bears defense and special teams, they know their offense does not have to score a point. Ralph Williams, congratulations. Pittsburgh is having a victory Monday today, as I predicted.
Division is already in the bag. Man, all it takes is one misstep on the wrong field to ruin that. So don't put that out of the world yet.
Yeah. One game at a time. Just like the coach is preaching to the guys, just like the guys are preaching to the press. You notice all that Super Bowl talk went away once the game started. Did they not?
Yes,
That
it
was
did.
the week before practicing for the game was the last time we heard anybody talk about a Super Bowl was Brad Holmes. Ralph Williams says we have to find a punter likewise to the Lions. Oh, you mean like Jack Fox? Good luck with that. There ain't many out there like that. Don't you agree with him?
No. I believe there's plenty of punters out there. They just don't get the opportunity because most of them play in Australia.
And how about that? We only went for a 4th down conversion one time and converted it, guys.
Yeah, when he pulled out freaking your kicker, I was like, holy shit.
And they did it twice. They let him tie the game. That's a pressure
No.
That's a pressure kick. And what did he
Let
miss
me-
outside this preseason? Close kicks.
Let me ask you a
Dan
question.
Campbell.
How anxious was Dan Campbell? Like, God, I don't want to do this. I want to go for it. I want to go for it.
He told Jake Bates, I have faith in you and I brought you in. But at the same time, we did let him kick in the one place where he was 14 of 14 with the Michigan Panthers. So there is that.
Lamar was able to throw, and Lamar would have freaking won if Isaiah Likely didn't have Shaq-sized feet.
Our punter got hurt in the game, so no running or roughing the punter call. These officials are bums. Sure. Let me go look at that game. I didn't think that game was that bad, people. But man, what a great night. He was 17 of 32, so just over 50%. 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick is not horrible. Because in this day and age, with the way defenses are improving and they played a top defense in the league, I kept waiting for AG to figure out the darn receivers that were in motion. Still not convinced about AG. Like you said, Jay, I worried the Rams would get the ball first. Our D can hold up now, so taking the points is an easier decision now, 100%. Oh, sorry to hear that, Ralph. I'm sorry to hear your punter got hurt. I was bouncing around and watching Red Zone, so when people were punting, they always went away from everybody. So, who were your cold players of this game? Did you watch the whole game there, Von Doom, or did you just watch the comment?
Yeah, I watched most of it. Cold? You'd have to say Laporte and St. Brown were cold because they didn't put up the stats you projected them to. Carlton Davis was definitely cold because I don't know what the hell he thought he was doing last night. And I guess I don't even know. Maybe Branch because he couldn't catch anything.
Yeah, Branch did a good job tackling. Carlton Davis did a good job tackling, but they really didn't defend any passes. Gotta send Will my address again.
Surprised he doesn't have a tattooed on his ass yet. Sorry.
Oh, that was funny though. How the hell did Troy Curtis, Prescott, and Lamb get contracts? Wow, Prescott isn't worth that money. It was horrible by the eye test. The defense dropped like 4 potential interceptions, and the refs also bailed Love out and should have been an intentional grounding throw. That's true. Uh, he dropped 2 big interceptions. He had 2 hit him in the hands that I saw. One in the first half, one in the second half. And I'm sorry, I still think Kirby Joseph's interception in the end zone at the end of the half saved the game. I mean, that's the other thing we got to look at. It's the same injury he had. He re-aggravated it. I haven't heard anything else yet. He's going to go in for an MRI today, so we'll know more tomorrow. And that's the same with the extensive testing for Jordan Love. Right now, the preliminary findings are a sprain of the MCL. They still got to go in there and scope it out and make sure it's not anything more than that. Because if it's a partial tear, guess what? They'll repair it and he'll be out for the season. That's how that works.
I don't think we heard anything on BTT yet, have we?
Yeah, there's nothing out. He still has to go in for his testing. Because remember, they flew back this morning. Yep, like what happened to McCarthy. Did Kirby ask Stafford if he thought it was a dirty interception? LOL. I don't know, but that would have been funny. Jordan Love is out for at least 3 to 6 weeks. But if they find anything worse than that, it'll be much longer. Oh, 100%. We needed JMO to step up because they basically blanketed Laporta and St. Brown until what, the fourth quarter? That's when the both of them started to get a catch or two. Isn't that about right there, Von Doom?
Yes.
And both times, St. Brown caught the pass. He stiff armed somebody to get an extra couple of yards. So he's still that dog. They just weren't letting him get open. I never got scared of any at any point watching the game. I watched that whole game. It was amazing to see J-Mo getting the touchdown, and then I had a phone call, so I couldn't talk about it in the chats. But I finally said something in one of the chats. He goes, "Man, you're way behind." I was like, "No, I was on the phone." So, by the way, yes, FTP, it is that time. It's time to do our sponsors. You know the ones you love. And I know Leonard wished it would have happened, but it didn't happen. But we still tell him, hey, Minnesota, get skull fucked. And it's fuck the Bears. And then just because they went to the basement, dilly dilly, fuck the Packers. The pit of misery, dilly dilly. So it's a 3-way tie atop the division right now. Um, Neither team wanted to use a timeout. Anytime there's a review within the 2-minute warning, and you don't use a timeout, there's a 10-second runoff rule. I really thought McVay was going to use one of his last 2 timeouts at that point, because that would have conserved 10 seconds on the clock. Because if you give Matthew Stafford 30 seconds, we've seen him score a touchdown in that amount of time. By leaving him under 30 seconds, it made it a lot harder. Am I wrong, Von Doom?
No, they would have taken the extra 10 seconds. He could have got into field goal range.
Right. That's all it took to win was a field goal in regulation.
Yep. Correct.
Oh, now we got Rams fans crying that we were dirty when Puka got injured. His knee hit the ground. It wasn't even a dirty play. Good Lord. No, I didn't hear any complaints from their coach. Yes, and their running back ran out of bounds. That stopped the clock. Yes, that was when they got that first down. He ran out of clock.
I came on to say hi.
Okay, you're saying hi? Okay, hello. That was Leland.
I will now disappear and charge a battery.
Okay, go charge your phone. Go do whatever you're doing.
Phone.
And last but not least, I do have one more sponsor to cover because they pay the bills. That's an important one, right, Leonard?
Yeah.
Brandon Service, right at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. Where in Flint, Michigan, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Stop in and check us out. These tires starting at $40 a piece. I just saw a comment come through and it made me laugh. $40 a piece, depending on size and condition. If you need new tires, please call 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself. We will get you your quote. If you want your tires, they will be delivered by the next day to the shop to be done. If you mention this ad, you get $10 off your set of tires. Yes, they are saying he played dirty and hurt Puka on purpose. You can't make this shit up. Casual fans.
Hey, man, I'm just going to put it out there. It's not the first time the Lions have been accused of being a dirty team.
Oh,
but mostly it was just because they were from Detroit.
Joseph Austin. Yeah, we did that same third quarter thing we griped about all last year. We griped about in the the NFC Championship game. We didn't run the ball in the third quarter. Thank God we got a Jameson Williams touchdown, or that'd have been another third quarter failure, and we're talking about a different outcome. But at the same time, I'm not crying over what we did. Now VD is crying. Come on, man. Brent's giving you shit. But thank you for watching. Here is your outro, and we are going to have a great day. And do you want to do the mashup tonight where we get more into detail on the Giants game?
I guess we could.
All right. So we will see you at 9 p.m. tonight. Have a great day.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy.